Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's the Memo. You got the same guys as always. Alex Masados, Matt Brodsky, and Richard Lyons. We have a lot to talk about today. There's been some very significant news in the NFL. We have our last, NBA segment of the year. We don't know how long it's going to be until the next season. After that finals, it was weird, right? You're just thinking, we don't know when we're going to see basketball again, right, Matt?
Yeah, it's just like surreal to even, ponder, really.
Yeah, it's
Will
like
the NBA come back? Will we ever see professional basketball again?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not like they've been speaking about January for the last 3 months, but
You just don't know.
Is it really January?
that's what they think. But that's not the
That'd be
point.
sick. That's like right around the corner.
Yeah, that would be sick. So the NBA is over. The Lakers are NBA champions. We'll talk about that series a little bit and maybe get into where they go from here. We don't really have to get too much into that because that's more, off-season
Yeah, I
news.
think we can actually skip over it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And then
Not much
everyone
to talk
everyone
about.
knows at this point the significant news going around the NFL with Dak Prescott, now today Le'Veon Bell, bunch of other stuff, and then we're going to do our weekly picks where the standings are getting closer. Matt
They are.
10-5, Alex 8-7, Richard 7-8. So I was way behind the beginning. I told you I'm going to catch up. I told you to watch your back. And I told you if 2 weeks ago we were able to do a show, I would have picked the Browns, and I would have even been caught up even more.
I never made a pick on that game, so you don't know if that's
you were
true
gonna
or
pick
not.
the Colts.
I did pick the Colts. That game happened this week, idiot.
I meant
It
you
was
were gonna pick the
Browns,
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
You were gonna pick the Cowboys.
Who knows? The Browns are 4-1. Maybe I would have picked the Browns.
Yeah, but they weren't 4-1 then. They were 2-1.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Well, now it'll never be seen. So
No, you had a good week. You were 3-1. I stumbled a little bit, went 1-3. So close to that Chargers pick, which would have been a nice one.
they've had some heartbreakers, man.
Yeah, a day in the life of the Chargers. But they're 3-13.
What do you
in
know?
one-score
Kershaw
games the
gives
past
up
2
a
years.
homer. Playoff Kershaw, baby.
Playoff Kershaw, playoff P. Tell me the difference.
He's been good. He gave up a solo home run.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for him.
We got a lot of good games this week. Four games for predictions. We'll get to towards the end of the show.
Yeah, these
But,
are tough, man. Tough.
I have a feeling we're going to be on different sides of a lot of these, so this is a big moving week for us.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm not excited to watch them go down. Well, I am, but when,
What?
I mean in the sense that, like, I'm going to be so nervous about my team winning that I pick, and all the games are too good to, like, be confident about who to pick.
Alex, your face.
Alex is
Richard's
never-
like, I hate football.
I do. Because
I'm excited to pick them. Won't watch any of it.
I do hate football because Adam Gase ruined my life. But we'll get to that later. But let's talk about the best news in the world, the single greatest thing that's happened in the past week and year and life. The Los Angeles Lakers are your 2020 NBA champs. Round of applause. Who knew from the beginning? It might have been me. It might have, been
When did the
me
NBA
entire-
resume from the COVID break?
When?
Yeah, they came back.
Oh, you're gonna pull one of those. Yeah, we got
I
the
know
we got
they
the Mickey Mouse ring, bro. I don't
no,
care.
because they stopped in March,
Yeah,
and I just didn't know if they restarted. I heard that they were doing a second bubble for the bad teams. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. We won that too.
Oh,
Bad bubble champs. No, but seriously, the Lakers take down the Miami Heat in 6 games. We didn't get to do a podcast about the Game 5, which ended up being the best game of the series. One of the best games in recent memory of the finals, if you ask me. We were all watching together. Heartbreaker on my end, but happy they came out on top in the end. But Jimmy Butler, hats off, obviously.
Yeah.
Anything to say?
Hey,
see
hats
Matt's
off to
listening.
the Lakers.
I mean,
I see
Yeah,
Matt's little
I'll
smirk
I'll,
down there.
I'll be a man for Matt. We definitely We were not on the Lakers train. We laughed when you guys would say that they would cakewalk to the finals, and
I actually never said that.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about Kornfeld here, but they did. They've decisively won. Heat played them pretty tough, but I think this was kind of a result that we were all expecting. The Lakers were just the better team through and through, and LeBron got his 4th ring. AD got his first. Not much to say, you know. Just
we've kind of covered it all at this point because I think the last time we recorded it was after Game 4. I think they were up 3-1 at that point. So, we said all we had to say. LeBron looked great. AD looked great. Their defense is stifling. Jimmy Butler is the only playmaker on the Heat. All the same stuff. It's not surprising that they won. I do recommend everyone, if you want to. Who is that?
He doesn't look
nerd?
anything like that anymore.
He does not look like that at all.
We haven't seen him in a while, so.
Hey, you might have made a little bit of a difference, but
he did. Hey,
they wouldn't have won.
They won that game, Game 5 because of him. Obviously because of Jimmy, but if he didn't step up like that, they lose. But what I was saying was, I lost my train of thought
weird.
Because Matt's licking Duncan
Matt's trying to
Robinson's
film a
nose.
gay porno.
That's Goran Dragic.
Oh my God, that's why I thought it was Duncan Robinson.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ!
God.
I was like,
Why
I'm
would you
pretty
bring
sure Dragic didn't play in Game 5, but I'll just let Richard.
Okay.
Well, let Richard go here.
Well, that's why I think he looks different.
Duncan Robinson looks nothing like that.
That's why I was like, yeah, he doesn't look like that. He also had a full beard now, Dragic, so he did play in Game 6.
He looks like he's
more
80
like
now.
Duncan Robinson because he had a full beard.
That's bad. I thought you were just like trying to be like annoying about Duncan Robinson because you said the Duncan Robinson game when they won that. But now you're trying to be like, oh, they only won because they didn't have fucking Dragic, which
yeah, you
doesn't
mentioned
matter.
that they didn't have any scorers outside of Jimmy Butler. I mean, the guy who was leading them in the playoffs didn't play. So.
You know what I think about that? If he's there, Butler doesn't have to do what he did where he like Butler kind of replaced his production when he went those 2 games where he fucking played every minute and just like gave it his all.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't do that, and then you
Well,
probably
he's never
like
played in the finals before, so that's what he does in the finals.
yeah, that's what he does in the finals. Yeah, cool. But I just I don't like that.
I wouldn't like it either if I was a Laker fan.
They would have won anyway.
It doesn't
There's
matter.
a lot
They
of
won.
close games.
Goran Dragic was the guy going to get them over the hump against LeBron and AD.
Listen,
Whatever.
There were a lot of close games. The Heat were shorthanded because you could obviously tell they were missing a playmaker. They needed another scorer. They needed another offensive weapon in close games, and they were missing one of them.
Okay. I remember what my train of thought was now before you started licking Dragic's nose. I recommend everyone, if you like podcasts, to go listen to.
Whoa! No free plugs. No free plugs.
This kid has not stopped talking about this podcast.
Did they shout out us? Did they shout
They
us
did.
out?
You should have heard Bill. He was real big on us.
Richard thinks Jared Dudley is astrophysicist.
I think it's just an interesting perspective on the bubble. He went on the Bill Simmons podcast. He was on for like a little over an hour, and he just talked about the whole process, like being there, talking about like when you see a team after you lose or you win because they were like in the same hotel and all that. Like I thought it was just cool. And like,
Jared Dudley had the same perspective that I did on the finals.
That's just a ridiculous statement. He didn't talk about himself playing. He wasn't like, yeah, when I went in, and, like, it made a difference. He was just like talking up all the other players that actually did shit. He would like talk about how watching Rondo and how he like prepares, and LeBron. And apparently LeBron literally sleeps in like a pod, like a recovery pod, and like.
Oh
crazy
yeah,
shit.
I saw one of those things in Matisse Thybulle's video.
he would like take multiple hour naps in it for recovery. But
That's fucking
I
crazy.
I just think it's like a cool perspective of life in the bubble and like for the team that won, like how they went about things. Like I told you guys, we were texting in the group. He's talking about Rondo watching film and how he's like, when James Harden crosses over 3 times, like on that 4th time, he's looking to step back, and like 65% of the time when he does this, he's driving to his right. Like I think like little things like that is cool to hear about, just like how like the cerebral part of how teams prepare, because you just watch the game and it seems so like in the moment, but then you realize it really is like methodical and planned out, like how they attack on offense, on defense. Like it's cool.
I actually, since we're promoting other content, I saw a video of, it was like basically it was like a 10-minute video focused in on the Lakers 2 like video guys.
I think I saw that.
That video was great. It was like they get there at like 5 a.m. because Vogel gets there at like 6:30, and they basically have to get everything like up on his computer, and like they just like scout. It was during the season, so they were playing the Knicks, and there was an inside the video room like video of them like talking about the Knicks and doing like all the preparation for the Knicks, who are the Knicks, obviously. They suck, and you probably don't need to prepare for them that much if you're the Lakers, but they did, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why they're so good.
Yeah, it's cool. Good. And that's like what Spoelstra started as for the Heat. He was one of those video guys like that. So it's cool getting that perspective on them. But yeah, I said,
cool.
Another plug, there's this website where you can get delivery in 2 days, Amazon. You guys might want to check that out. No, but seriously,
that's pretty good. I tried it once.
Listen to that podcast. There's a bunch of cool snippets in there. They talk about, the Clippers and all that stuff, the other teams.
We should say the name of it if
the Bill Simmons podcast. I said Bill Simmons pod.
Oh, Bill Simmons. Let me get the name of that video I saw.
Yeah. So while you're looking that up, I just want to say, like we said in the beginning, hats off to the Heat. They brought it every game, and I don't think anyone thought it would go to 6 when Dragic went out. So they brought a lot of competition. Obviously, had congratulations to the Lakers. Very happy. Frank Vogel, first year as a head coach for the team, takes us to the finals. I think he should get a lot of credit, because when it's a LeBron-led team and you're the head coach, you usually don't get that much credit. And I think I remember when Ty Lue was coaching the Cavs, how much hate he would get for his rotations and, keeping guys in too long, this and that. And I feel like there really wasn't that same, animosity towards Vogel. It seemed like he was always, adjusting and well-prepared and making rotations different and, like, adapting. So hats off to him.
They seem like they really like him. The video coordinator's video is Backstage Lakers episode from January 23rd. So if you want to watch it,
you can't miss.
Go check that out.
Can't miss stuff.
It's sick.
It is cool. I saw it. It's cool. But yeah,
I'd rather lick my own feet.
We know. Matt was.
I'd rather lick my own feet than do a lot of things.
Matt has a Christmas Day Champions banner in his room from that Pat Bev block.
Oh! You gonna take that,
salty.
Matt?
I'm not a Clippers fan, so I am.
Yeah, you're not a Clippers fan. Closet.
You have a Clippers
fan.
jersey.
That was from Blake Griffin way back in the day.
Yeah.
Is it not?
It's from when it's
fire
from.
Jersey too. I'm pissed too. I ordered a Tyler Hero jersey and it never came during the finals.
Yeah.
You ordered a Tyler Hero jersey?
Of course you did.
Fresh. It's the blue Miami
averages
Vice
like
jerseys.
13 points a game.
Matt's like, he's the next Clay.
He is the next Clay. But
he's a terrible defender.
It's the blue Miami Vice jerseys. They're so
Those
fresh.
are really cool, but you should have got Bam.
He'll be off the team
Butler.
in 3 years.
Why wouldn't you get Butler? You're going to get Herb, idiot.
Because it's going to be worth a lot of money when he's in the Hall of Fame.
They're going to trade him for Beal.
Yeah, and then he's going to be off the team in 2 years.
Okay.
And then he's going to be irrelevant on the Wizards.
And the Lakers are going to trade Kuzma there, too, so they can be irrelevant together.
It's a fresh jersey. and I was upset that I didn't come.
I'm sure
That you didn't come.
I'm sure it'll be here soon.
It sounded
not
like
like
you said I
you-
didn't come.
Did you having it during the finals? That would have
That's
made a
not a
difference.
problem
you
for
think?
me.
Do you
What?
think just like Dragic being out and Bam hurt his shoulder, Matt not having his jersey, that's a big loss for the Miami Heat.
We weren't ready. We just weren't ready as a unit.
Yeah, they were every day checking their the Insta stories, Snap stories. Does Matt have his jersey yet? Did he post it up with this emoji?
I know. I told Tyler to be waiting, but I think I distracted him a little bit.
All right, we can move on. We'll probably be talking a lot of Lakers in the off season. Where they go from here. Like, can they improve?
Not
I'm
sure
we'll
about
be
that.
talking about them every episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where they go from here? Can they improve? Do they run it back with this squad? I don't think they should. But tale for another day. So let's get into the stuff that's happening now in the sport that's actually going to continue for another 11 weeks.
Who
of our
knows
lives.
how long at this point with
That
fucking
is true.
COVID.
That is true. There's been another breakout in the Falcons locker room now. We just dealt with the Titans and the who else was it? The Vikings had a little bit, right? Oh no, they didn't have it. They just played the Titans, right?
Yeah.
The Patriots were the other team. Their game got postponed against Denver, but right now the Falcons are.
It was a
dealing with
personnel guy apparently.
Oh, okay. So he should be fired.
I thought it was multiple positives.
I didn't see that. Let me look it up.
I thought I saw that too.
Oh, a
The
second positive. Okay. Yeah, so
It's
they have
bad
two.
news. Bad news
The
bears.
first- One of them was personnel.
Yeah. So
A coach and player.
if the NFL continues as it's supposed to, and they can, make it through these outbreaks that they're getting, we still have a lot of football left. But right now, I don't know. But the biggest news, I'd say, what?
I don't know.
You looked like you were not happy with something there.
Well, first, no, whatever. Let me just say, I'm very happy for once. It seems like our timeline for recording the memo matched up with news for the first time ever that
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell got signed to the Chiefs. If we had recorded this like 2 days ago, we would be saying that he got cut. Then we'd be speculating on where he was going to go, and then the next day he would sign.
Yep.
So we finally lined up the right way. Le'Veon Bell was cut by the Jets. He is now signed with the Kansas City Chiefs for the rest of the season. And that is a big, big piece for
and
defending Super Bowl champions.
And there's multiple layers to this story. Obviously we're going to talk about what it means for the Chiefs, what he can do for them, how much he'll contribute with, they just drafted a running back in the first round, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's been, pretty good for them as a rookie. I don't think he's been the stellar
He has slowed
back
down
that
a lot from week one.
I don't think he's been the stellar back that everyone thought from day one. And I think, they're a team that can afford to pay Bell for 1 year. They don't need Edwards-Helaire to be this breakout back right now. They have him for 5 years. They can afford to just bring in Bell, and if he looks good for them, you run with him for this year, and then hope Edwards-Helaire improves. But then the other side of it is obviously, how it got to this point with the Jets, where not only is he not traded, he's just straight up released 5 games into his second year on the team after signing a 4-year, $50-something million deal or whatever it was. And they're still he probably signed for like $2-3 million with the Chiefs because the Jets are still paying him $15 million this year. So I don't know what side of that argument you guys want to get into first.
I would like to start with the Jets.
Yeah, do it in order of the timeline.
Yeah. Well, my first reaction was, what the fuck?
I think that was a lot of people's first reaction.
Yeah. I just it baffles my mind that you have a young developing quarterback who's being coached by Adam Gase, who clearly does not know how to call a game, doesn't know how to call good plays for him. The coaching staff is constantly blaming the complete ineptitude on offense on execution by the players, which is just like so disgustingly unprofessional
And
to begin with.
He's always talking about injuries.
And injuries. And like you as I was saying when I first started, you have a young, promising quarterback. I think pretty much as bad as Sam Darnold has looked, everybody knows that he has potential and he has the talent to be a good quarterback. And with no weapons, no play calling, and you ship out the best player on offense. I just don't understand it. He's easily the most talented player on the offense. And for 2.5 years or a year and a half or however long he's been on the team, Adam Gase has just not at all been able to utilize one of the best offensive players of like this past decade. Hasn't been able to utilize him in any way at all, or make Le'Veon Bell productive in any way. And they just ship him out. This to me is the Jets saying, like, you said this yesterday, Richard, they're giving up on Darnold. They're tanking. They're not going to invest more time, money, or risk into giving him players to surround himself with to make him look a little bit better and develop. And they want Trevor Lawrence to be the quarterback, and they want to reset the rookie quarterback clock.
Yeah,
and it's just I get it. If you're Joe Douglas, you want to, like, it's a sunk cost. If you want your own quarterback and you don't think Sam Darnold is your guy, then you got to just move on. But holy fuck, it's like embarrassing. It's just such a bad look. The team is just in complete disarray. I don't understand how like it's just their reputation is just shot.
Yeah. And yeah, you said it all. Embarrassing, shocking, infuriating, annoying, everything bad that it could possibly be. Any of those reactions, it's that. And what I hate so much is this off season, leading up in training camp and before that, whatever, Adam, he always says the right thing, Adam Gase. I've been talking to Bell. We've been watching his Pittsburgh film. We want to get him more involved in the passing game. We want to get him in space, get him the ball here, get him the ball there. And he just doesn't. I know he was out for 3 weeks, but they didn't do it against Buffalo, and they didn't do it when they had him this past week when he came back, and he was averaging like 4.7 yards a carry. And him and Gore basically split carries 50-50, while Gore's getting like 3 yards a carry. He has one target in the passing game, one of the best pass-catching backs in, like you said, the past decade. Like, not just offensive weapon. He's basically a receiver when he's out. He can run routes. He can catch the ball. He's a great weapon out of the backfield. And he had one target, and then you have Adam Gase drawing up a post throw from Joe Flacco to Frank Gore when you have Le'Veon Bell on the team. Why in the world is that ever considered and thought to be a productive and, potentially high potential play call? What happens if Frank Gore catches a post? He gets tackled for 7 yards? Nothing happens if you throw the ball to Frank Gore. You have Le'Veon Bell. You have anybody else. Pirine. Let's not even get into that when this man says we didn't play Pirine a single snap because we don't want to stunt his growth. Yeah, you're going to stunt a running back's growth by not playing him a single snap, The one position where I think Damian Woody said it, but, I mean, everyone knows this. Running back is the easiest position to translate from college. Every year you see a rookie running back, no matter what round they're drafted in. If there's a good O-line, good play calls, they contribute, they can play well. You don't stunt their growth by giving them the ball. But
I just don't understand how do you move forward with Adam Gase as your head coach?
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of this frustration comes in. And look, everyone has these reasons. It's been a day now or whatever it was. It was yesterday, right? He got released. Or Tuesday.
Yesterday.
And now everyone's like I saw they would have to pay him
2 days,
eight mil if he got hurt. He's guaranteed $8 million next year instead of $4 million, whatever it is. Get him, do him a favor. You talk to his agent. Now you look good to other players. You let him go, find his own team, this and that. But like, I think what people are frustrated about is that there's been this battle between Gase and Bell this whole time. No matter how many times they tried to say, we like each other, it's fine. I don't know why the media drums this up, whatever. It's obviously been this head-butting battle between them, and now it looks like you chose Adam Gase over Le'Veon Bell, who the fans know is is the best offensive weapon the team's had, and people have their opinions on Bell. You think he's washed, whatever. I would choose Le'Veon Bell over Adam Gase, and now it's like, why? They've lost by double-digit points every game. Every single game of the season, they're getting blown out. This struggling Cardinals team, who Kyler Murray has 26 completions for 100 yards the week before, they go for 500 yards on the team. And the team does absolutely – we score 10 points. There's nothing. There's no creativity in the offense. They're getting blown out. The players don't care. And why – it starts at the top with the Johnsons, and specifically right now, Woody Johnson's been trash, but right now it's Christopher Johnson because he thinks he's the smartest man in the room. He thinks he knows football. He thinks he can hire a coach on his own, thought process. But I can easily see how he gets in a room with Adam Gase, and Adam Gase swindles him into thinking he's this genius. You've seen Adam Gase talk when he's in a press conference. If he's like flowing and talking and into it, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And then you have Peyton Manning call Christopher Johnson, a guy who's been acting owner for 2 years. He's probably like, the greatest quarterback ever is calling me to tell me to hire this guy. Yeah. And that's where you make the mistakes. And it's never going to change until – I think what they have to do is this offseason, you fire Adam Gase, and he says, Joe Douglas, it's you. He shouldn't even sit in the interview with the coaches. It shouldn't be like, you have the choice, but I'm going to be there. No, he should not be involved with any football decisions. You pay the money that the football people say that they tell you what decisions to make with the football money. That's it. You want to come to events, you want to be around the players, you want to be on the field and at practice, good for you. You can do that. You don't get a say in any of this. That's where it all is. And then he comes out week 2. He's an offensive genius. I think the fans are giving him an unfair criticism. And now apparently he might get fired November 1st instead. Okay. Just fire him now. Just get him out. No one wants him. No one likes him.
Yeah, I don't understand, I don't understand when you have a talented player on offense who the coach can't figure out how to utilize. You don't get rid of the talented player, you get rid of the coach. Mm-hmm. And you find somebody who can make Le'Veon Bell a valuable player in the Jets offense. I don't know if they fire Adam Gase, who becomes the head coach? Is it Greg Williams, or does he go too? Is it Jim Bob Cooter?
Honestly. I think it should be the special teams coach.
Whoever it is can probably figure out how to get Le'Veon Bell, 1, the ball in his hands, and 2, yards.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you promote one of these coaches, look, I think. The defenses look like trash. I don't want Greg Williams to be our interim. He can go too for all I care. I mean, the defense has nobody, but still, they look unprepared. They're undisciplined. They had the most against the Broncos, the most personal fouls in a game in 30 years or something crazy. And I just what was that noise? Oh, sorry. I want to make sure my
POV shot.
I wanted to make sure my computer didn't. I'm recording on the PC though. Just get someone in there who has nothing to lose. Adam Gase has everything to lose, and he still coaches like a scared little baby. Just let it you're done, man. It's over. Just let it out. Just go. Just throw the lot. Do something creative. Mix it up. It's your time is done.
Jesus Christ, have some fun.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Adam Gase go out there and have some fun this week against the Dolphins and run a fucking flea flicker with whoever he wants. Just do something different.
Have you ever seen him get mad at the refs for a call? Have you ever seen him get like amped up on the sideline when someone does something good? Have you ever seen him get angry at anything or have any emotion at all?
Sociopath.
All I ever see is him on the sideline.
That might be what it is.
Looking down at his chart. He's just looking down at his play chart while we're like on defense.
And he fucking calls the worst plays. He calls a fucking screen, a little past the flats, a run up the middle. It's like, what are you looking at the play sheet for? You call JV plays.
Yeah, and there's this guy, this Jets reporter. His name is Robbie Sabo, and he did a really interesting breakdown, I thought. And he was talking about, he's like, this is the difference between a creative mind and Adam Gase. Both teams, Jets Cardinals, had 4th and 1 situations. The Jets ran a fullback dive to a tight end who had 1 career carry going into that play. Now he has 2. And he also had the audacity to say after the game, every time we gave him the ball, he gets at least 1 or 2 yards. So he had 1 carry. So he doesn't get 1 or 2 yards every time you give him the ball. Then Kingsbury on the other side.
I hope nobody noticed that.
Yeah, people can't look up guys' stats at the snap of their fingers. I'm not saying Kingsbury is this great head coach. I think he still has a lot to prove. But as a play caller, they have a 4th and 1, and they run like this fake trap run wheel route to this random running back coming out of the backfield that goes for like 30 yards. Like, it's just something as small and simple as that shows someone who has balls and creativity and like knows how to manipulate a defense and take advantage of matchups against someone who's riding off Peyton Manning-led offense and who hasn't proven anything since then without him. Every single time he's without Peyton Manning, they're bottom 10 offense in the league.
Honestly, Adam Gase is he's a liar, and you like wonder why the players don't like playing for him. Like Matt just said, and I think it was a joke, but he's just like a narcissistic, like self-centered, really egotistical liar. He lied about getting Le'Veon Bell more involved. Like he just tells lies. He talks about
excuses.
The only players
well, there's not much of a difference. He's like can't come to grips with the reality that he's not a good play caller, so he blames it on his players. He blames it on injuries, and he just is not in touch or in tune with what is really happening. He only cares about himself and preserving his job, which apparently he's pretty good at doing, even though the Jets are 0-5 and the laughing stock of the NFL.
Yeah, and what I don't get is like Christopher Johnson. I know this was your first hire. I know you're trying to maybe hold out hope that you don't look like the biggest moron on the planet, even though you already were the day you hired him in the eyes of everybody on the outside. Just cut it loose, man. You fucked up. You really, really, really messed up. And it's time to admit it and just say, get out.
People were saying that's the day he was hired.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Like, like the day he was hired, everyone called you an absolute moron.
Yeah. It's usually you hire a new coach and everybody buys in. They're like, this guy does this well. We love this. It's a new era. Let's go. Second is I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
And what I'm hearing from people who have been Jet fans for 30 plus years, in the season that is being described as the absolute worst season since Rich Kotite, I guess he was this terrible coach they had back in the 90s. You want people to, get a little bit excited about the Jets this year, you fire Adam Gase.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you can do where people will be like, yeah! Like, so excited about one thing. Because everything this man touches just turns to shit. The only players who succeed under Adam Gase are slot receivers. Jamison Crowder, great for you. You're I like you anyway, but Jarvis Landry had like 110 catches under him.
Until he traded him because he demanded to leave.
Yeah. It's just slot receivers. Chris Herndon, he's had his own self-inflicted wounds. He looks nothing like what he did his rookie year. I don't see him get targeted downfield ever. I guess when he does, he drops it. But still, you talk this guy up the whole year. You have Chris Hogan and undrafted receiver starting, and then Crowder's out, Braxton Berrios. Just throw him the ball. I don't care if he's dropping it. Throw it to the one guy who's talented and athletic. They're throwing jump balls in the end zone to Chris Hogan. Infuriating. What are you thinking? It makes no sense.
It's like self-fucking sabotage.
Yeah, and
it's like he's doing it on purpose.
He looks worse. You made Le'Veon Bell look bad. Your Sam Darnold, watch rookie year Sam Darnold and tell me he doesn't look like a completely different player.
It's just like him.
It's completely ruined. Like
he ruined everything that was going well for the franchise. Jamal Adams left, Le'Veon Bell left, Darnold looks worse, and nothing has.
And now think about this. You know, at the time, everyone was infuriated anyway. That game, he brings the Broncos game. Mekhi Becton was the emergency backup. Comes in after 3 snaps. Yeah, what was he going to be, the starter the whole game now? What was the point of him being the emergency backup if he's just going to basically start the whole game? He leaves the game. He's going to be out on 2 weeks now. He's not playing Sunday. So he was put in the game, and now he's out multiple weeks. Sam Darnold came back in the game. Now he's out multiple weeks. Like, how do they let this happen? That I'll give Joe Douglas criticism for that. You don't let that happen to your players. You're the GM. You say he's not going back in the game. You say he's inactive. Like, I know they have doctors and like they listen to doctors, whatever. Like, you don't let that happen.
Are doctors bad too? Like, what do we do? Does anything work in this organization?
They were so desperate for a win that they were just sacrificing the health of their players to try to get the best team out on the field.
And then they lost by
Gase isn't
double
thinking
digits.
long term. He doesn't give a fuck about Darnold's shoulder. He wanted to win the game.
Oh, I cannot believe he is still the head coach going into our next game.
And Joe Flacco and Frank Gore are starting.
I'm not going to watch them until Adam Gase gets fired, and I probably won't watch after that.
I will not watch them. I won't. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to win like 2 games, and the Giants are going to get Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, they're going to
They're so bad.
They're going to go.
They're so bad.
The only chance they have to win is the Dolphins, and they just blew out the 49ers. So
Dolphins don't look bad. They don't look okay.
Yeah, no. That was their only chance to win. Unless they get like ultimate Fitztragic, like 5 picks, 3 pick sixes, then that's the only way.
And then you'll get Tua in the second half, and he'll light you up.
Fitzpatrick hasn't been bad at all.
No, he had a good game last week, but he hasn't been great.
I mean, from pure stats perspective, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks, very good.
For him, yeah.
Those are Darnold's numbers too.
Yeah, those are Daniel Jones numbers.
All the best quarterbacks.
It's just the whole Le'Veon Bell thing is just such like the most epic failure of like a decision that you could ever like witness in football. Like, you have this guy sign him 4 years, $52 million. He plays 17 games, and he's cut a year and a half into the contract for not even fault of his own. Like, it wasn't like he was so bad that you just had to get out of the contract and you had to cut him. You just didn't use him to the point where he wanted to leave.
And it just wasn't worth it to have him.
At that point, it's like, fuck it. We're not going to use him anyway, and we might as well just get rid of him so he's not a problem. We're
even
not
if
go through the whole Jamal Adams thing again.
Yeah. Even if we can't trade him, we have to pay him. So let's just let him leave, make him happy, no drama.
And it's just like, and they say this on the K
he's
show.
He's probably
a lot,
so hyped. He got his money, and now he's on the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, no, he's living. He's living right now.
Yeah.
But they say this on the Michael K show a lot, and like it's true. It's another like thing that just is mind blowing about Adam Gase, because it was known when Gase got there that he didn't like the Bell contract, right? He's like, he wouldn't have given that much money to a running back or whatever. He didn't like the deal. And like that's okay. Like you can not like the contract, but like you have Le'Veon Bell now. Like that
not your
is
money.
what it is. So now that he's there, whether you like it or not, you better fucking use him because you have him and he's not going anywhere until the point where now you didn't use him so much. Now he is gone, and now you have Frank Gore. So is that what makes Adam Gase happier? At least he doesn't have to pay. They're not paying Levy on that contract.
But
now
they
he
still
has a
are.
60-year-old. Yeah. So now they still are.
Now you're paying him to not
60
use him.
And they have a 60-year-old running back now who can go 3 yards up the middle and then get hit. It's just it doesn't make any sense, and it sucks for Jet fans who obviously when Le'Veon Bell was signed, that was a huge free agent signing, and it was like, you know, we finally have a star on offense, pair him with Darnold, like he's going to help his development and all that pass catching ability, and just to see it completely fizzle out like that when it really, really did not have to be that way because it wasn't a performance issue with Bell. Aside, he didn't play great, but like obviously the line last year and everything.
Look,
but just to see it,
and
end like
Le'Veon
that
Bell
is
averaged 80 yards per game with the Jets, which is not great by any means, but considering the play calling and the offensive line and everything, that, at least for me, is a lot higher than I expected it to be. So I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's a talent thing. I think he can still be very good, and I think he will be on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Jets are just a completely just terrible organization.
We're seeing the true effects of what Mike Maccagnan did to the franchise. Because I think we all know at this point that Bell contract probably wasn't smart either way. But in that same offseason, they gave C.J. Mosley $85 million. He's played 3 quarters for the team. He's opted out this year. He's smart.
Is that a bad signing, though? Like, you can never predict what was going to happen. He gets hurt and then he opts out.
The thing is, you don't give $85 million to an inside linebacker when your O-line's worse in the league, your receivers are worse than the league, you're trying to build around a young quarterback. Maybe spend that money on a few like solid guards, a tackle.
If he didn't get injured and opt out during COVID, you probably look at it the same way that we're currently looking at Le'Veon Bell. Like, okay, maybe not the best contract, but at least you have a really talented player on the team. Just make the best of it. But unfortunately,
if he was like playing mad well.
Yeah.
No, I like Mosley. I think he's going to be good. It's just like it wasn't the time to be throwing splash money at.
Well, they paid arguably the 2 least important positions on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Running back and inside linebacker.
And then they paid like Crowder's been good. He's a slot receiver. They paid Josh Bellamy. Who the hell is that?
I don't know who that is.
He's not on the team anymore. That's who it is.
Yeah, Maccagnan's obviously trash. He had a hand in hiring Adam Gase too, and got himself fired from it.
That Adam Gase's blessing will be he got Maccagnan fired and got us Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So in
true.
the end, maybe he was the best coach in Jets
might be a net
history.
positive.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's a shame. It just gets worse and worse every week from.
Yeah.
Can you believe it got worse from when we scrapped him? I mean, I can, but it got significantly worse.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it's like intentional. It feels like he's a fucking self-deprecating guy who just wants to just make life impossible for himself. And I that's the only explanation that I have. Maybe he just likes getting his ass kicked by the media.
He doesn't take any of the blame. That's the funny part is he's going to turn around and say like, but my players are bad and they're injured.
Yeah, that is true. The Jets did get injuries this year. No other team has actually had an injury.
Yeah, no.
So I guess
none.
No one else had a short offseason either. The Jets were the only one.
We can go on and on about this, but we should talk about how this is going to affect the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
So we started.
I mean, look, what else is there really?
Starting point.
What is there really to say about the Chiefs? They just are amazing and got another great offensive weapon for Pat Mahomes. He's probably gonna fucking be MVP of the Super Bowl now, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're gonna use him how you use him. They're gonna split him out wide. They're gonna give him carries and space. They're gonna be creative with him. They can use him and Clyde at the same time. Like they can be on the field at the same time.
If the fucking Super Bowl is Chiefs Seahawks. And it's Le'Veon Bell versus Jamal Adams. Jesus Christ.
I think Alan Lazard will have a thing or two to say about that, but
Damn right
no, but yeah, I'm very excited for him to play the Jets. I really hope he has like the best game of his career, honestly. That would be an ultimate fuck you, and hopefully that's what gets Adam Gase fired, even though everything else should have up to this point.
That would be perfect.
That would be absolutely perfect. And we play the Seahawks too, so that'll be fun. But yeah, they're gonna use him correctly, and like I was saying, I remember if we were recording when I was saying, I think we were. They don't. If Clyde doesn't have to be this workhorse bell cow for them right now. If Le'Veon Bell's playing better than him, they're gonna use him. They're not gonna be like, we drafted Clyde in the first round, we have to use him. They have him for 5 years.
They're a good organization.
No, of course. And the reason that he got such a big role, Clyde, right out the gate was because Damian Williams opted out of the season. Obviously, Damian Williams is not like the long-term answer, and like Clyde was going to be the guy. But they wanted to use Damian Williams. He was starting on the team last year. I'm sure they would have mixed both of them in well and give Clyde like a nice, easy transition. And now that's what Bell could be. They can use Bell and develop Clyde the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure
by not playing him any snaps from Adam Gase.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, that's why Clyde. You can't play your rookie running backs. That's
how you develop them. Yeah,
of course. That's why they brought in Bell. They were like, we've been playing our first round pick. I don't know why. We need to get a running back in here.
And one thing that will definitely keep. I don't know how Clyde is in this aspect of the game, but Bell is one of the best blocking and pass blocking backs in the league. And, that's really valuable, especially for, a pass-heavy offense like the Chiefs. So he'll definitely be the third down guy, and I think he'll be more than that. I'm excited to see him, and he'll look like a boss in the uniforms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I hope he just comes out guns blazing. Now
They're
he's
just easily going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, now he's back in another, stellar situation. You got Tyreek Hill, Watkins, and Kelsey. Running downfield, catching passes, and it's like being back in Pittsburgh, except you have the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe the Raiders set the blueprint for beating the Chiefs.
There's no team in the AFC that can compete with Kansas City.
Oh, well, Derek Carr obviously is the best player in the AFC and probably the NFL. But we don't need to talk about him too much. Everyone knows how great he is. We hope you all enjoyed that little segment about the Jets there. Very passionate. If you're a Jets fan, you're watching this, we're with you. We mourn with you. We'll get through this together. Hopefully, by the end of this year, Adam Gase is out of all of our lives, and we can all, move on. But now, another pretty sad story in the NFL. Mr. Dak Prescott. Gruesome injury the other day. Broke his ankle, dislocated his ankle, did a lot of terrible shit to his ankle. I don't know, were either of you guys watching that live?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was against the Giants, so take that as you will. Was it, Bountygate? I don't know. No, I'm kidding.
It was Logan Ryan that fell on him.
Really? No, it was obviously an accident. It was gross. It was sad, and I was watching it at Alyssa's house. And
you gotta just hope it's a cramp.
Jesus.
I can't believe
Tony
that.
Romo with the Mr. Savant clairvoyant man. Like the absolute dumbest thing while the man's ankle is. I'm not like saying it was wrong of him that he was just like he probably didn't fully see his leg.
Yeah, he must not have seen it.
Yeah, but Dak Prescott's sitting there holding his leg with his ankle sideways, and he goes, "You gotta hope it's just a cramp."
All-time call by Tony there.
But
that's worth $10 million a year.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's what you want. Now it's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
But I was watching it with Alyssa, and I saw Dak go down, and like I looked down for a second, and I just looked up at the screen. And I, was looking at his leg, and I was like, oh, why is he holding it? Like, he was kind of holding his calf. So I was like, did he tear his Achilles? And then I, went down to his ankle, and that picture that you sent where you just see, the bone in his sock, and I was like, oh. And Alyssa was like, what? And I was like, oh. I was like, that man just snapped his ankle. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, they're going to show the replay, watch. And then...
Yeah, I know you hate that.
Oh, no, man. Terrible. But I had said this I mean, it's not good either way, but at least it wasn't like, a Paul George, Alex Smith, where you really snap your leg. At least it was like, the ankle kind of dislocated, and that's probably why it looked like that. It wasn't just because it broke. Like, remember when Karis LeVert did that and he, came back?
He dislocated it, yeah.
Yeah, but
sometimes
I know
you can dislocate it and it looks ugly like that.
I think he had a fracture probably in the lower bone, but I think most of the gross aspect was the dislocation of the ankle.
Yeah.
So
that's what makes it look a little gross sometimes.
Yeah.
But honestly, 4 to 6 months, that's less of a recovery time than just tearing your ACL.
Yeah, that's what when I
or
saw
Achilles.
that update, I was like, so must be not as severe as everyone thought. I mean, it's still severe, but
He'll be back for the Super Bowl. If he okay, let's just say hypothetical. If they do go to the Super Bowl and he's ready,
they would.
You can't start him, right?
No, they would. He won't be ready. First,
because
4
Dalton
months.
would
The Super Bowl is more than 4 months away. I mean, less than 4 months away.
No, it's not. November, December, January, February. Yeah, it's a little less than probably just about 4.
No, he wouldn't.
He's
play.
not
If they
going
went
to
to
be
Super
ready.
Bowl.
You'd have to just keep Dalton, right?
Yeah. All right, Dak coming back from the busted ankle, grossest thing of the season. Get in there.
No, it does suck for Dak with the whole contract situation too. He basically bet on himself. He got his franchise tag because there were offers on the table that he didn't want to take. Whether you agree with that or not, whatever he valued himself at, he didn't like the offers that Jerry Jones was giving to him. So he bet on himself to earn the contract and get a bigger payday next year, and he was doing that. He was having the best year of his career by far, throwing for 450 yards a game. The top 3 yards per game, the top 3 yard, whatever it's called, the top 3 games, the 3 games where the quarterback threw the most yards was Dak Prescott 1, 2, and 3.
This season?
This season. It's 500 something.
So can you just repeat that?
It was I don't know how you would even say that. The game
Highest single game passing total. Something like that.
Highest yards in a game 3 times this year.
most yards during football while throwing.
Threw the ball far 3 times. No, he has the 3 single highest yard games this season. I almost had it there. He threw for mad fucking yards 3 games. So he was having the best year of his career, and it really sucks to see him go down like that. And I wonder what a contract would look like. I do feel like the Cowboys will give him something. They'll take care of him. I think that they know that he's the quarterback for the future. They're not going to just let him go. And he got franchised this year, which was $31 million. So ultimately he'll probably be fine, but it just sucks not having that long-term security. And I hope we see him back on the field soon.
I know Alex has said this multiple times, and I agree with him. He's going to get a big deal. I mean, he's clearly a franchise quarterback. He's played well, like you said, threw yards far away and a lot for 3 games or whatever it was. What's it called? He's going to come back. He's going to get a long-term good deal. Especially now that we know this recovery process isn't going to be too long, so maybe it's not that severe. And it's not like a knee. He didn't snap his leg like I said, like Alex Smith. I think you can, as a quarterback, recover well from an ankle injury. I don't think it'll be that big of a detriment to any money he makes. And if that Cowboys don't want to pay him, someone else will.
Yeah.
So he's going to get his money. I think the Cowboys
probably will make less than he would have if he was making a full year with these numbers. Because he was validating that $40 million offer with the way that the quarterbacks get paid over and over again.
If the Cowboys aren't going to sign him, I think someone would probably throw him $40 million, some desperate team. But
he's definitely going to be the.
Sorry, I was going to say I just think it's pretty ridiculous how much priority they put into these other players over him.
Going on there?
What?
I don't know. I'm just.
Alex is sitting on the
can't stop
trampoline.
moving.
You signed Zeke to such a big deal, Amari Cooper, all these guys before your franchise quarterback. I think it's a little backwards thinking there, but I don't know. they have everyone on 10-year deals except the most important player on the field. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah. Apparently the salary cap is not a real thing. It's just a figment of our imagination. So
Yeah, they just say it's there just so because they don't think anyone will look at the contracts.
Well, no, it applies for some teams. It doesn't apply for the Cowboys.
yeah.
Tyron Smith is out for the year too. Their left tackle on a 20-year deal.
Yeah. It was said.
Their
it was
offensive
said,
line is not good.
It's not.
It's really not that good anymore.
It got like Frederick retired. He's hurt.
Pull it
I
up.
think- Wasn't
Pass
Leo
blocking.
Collins hurt too?
It was sad to
They're
see Dak
13 in pass
crying.
blocking.
Oh, you mean ESPN's favorite thing to happen ever?
It's average, I guess.
Oh my God, the amount of times I saw the poor guy fucking crying.
So zoomed up to his face too.
Yeah. But it was sad, but I because he's been just playing so well. It was sad to see that get cut short this season, but in like the grand scheme of things, he'll recover, he'll be fine. He'll get his money from I'm sure it'll be the
Probably
Cowboys.
the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Hey,
I
maybe he
mean, just
pulls like
a unfortunate thing.
Maybe he pulls like a Kirk Cousins, like 2-3 year deal with the Cowboys, bet on yourself again and then sign that big one until you snap your ankle.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's fucking heartless.
I'm sorry, that was a little rough, but I don't know. Maybe that's like I don't know what he's gonna do. It depends on what offers he gets. I think someone's gonna throw him the money. I think it'll be the Cowboys. If it's not them, because they're not gonna franchise him again. Because then wouldn't he make like $50 million? Like when you're on the second franchise, it's like ridiculously high. If the Cowboys aren't gonna pay Dak Prescott, then the Bears will sign a tight end. No one liked that one? Aren't they paying like 6 tight ends?
70.
Who, the Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had like 10 tight ends on the roster in
So,
training camp.
trying to slip one in like the Bears will sign him.
I didn't get it at first.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay. No, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. The Cowboys, they're 2-3. They were struggling with Dak. I don't know what Dalton. I mean, listen, obviously, I don't think it's a far stretch to say Dalton is the best backup in the league. So
he's top 5.
Starter in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So, I mean, listen, it's not
Look at him.
Trevor Siemian, Richard?
like I don't think Dalton will hold the Cowboys back in the short term. At least they have to fix that defense. Obviously, that's what they've been losing games. But I mean, we'll see. Dalton has had success before. He's got a plethora of weapons to throw to. I think he can be fine.
Simeon's on the Titans. Just saying.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys have a realistic chance. They're probably still the favorite in that division to come out of it.
Absolutely,
the division
awful.
is really, really bad. So it just makes it less interesting. You kind of like the Cowboys were a team that pretty much everyone was taking seriously coming into the season, and now that's just pretty done.
Yeah, I didn't know their defense would be this bad. I thought they were going to be a really good team, but that 34 points to the Giants, who didn't score a touchdown in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
unacceptable.
It's really,
awful.
it's so bad. I don't know how it got to this point because they were like decent last year. They were probably a little underwhelming, but I mean, they weren't like bottom 5 worst defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're like number 1.
Yeah, and they
Crazy.
signed what the fuck's his name? The defensive lineman. Didn't they sign?
Didn't he get hurt?
Gerald McCoy is out for the year. Yeah, he hasn't played.
Oh.
They lost Byron Jones, who Richard thinks is trash, who's been playing great for the Dolphins. But,
Yeah, he's good.
yeah, I mean, you took him away from one team and they became the worst team in the NFL, and then Miami's playing well. So that's
why they're
weird.
the worst defense.
Well, you take away the best player on defense, what do you think's going to happen? Their secondary is atrocious
Richard
because they
hates
paid
any
Zeke
team
and
with a
Amari
young
Cooper.
quarterback because he
What?
thinks they're a
No.
threat to Darnold.
We already
that
moved
was
on.
that used
We've
to
already
be a
moved
thing.
on from Darnold.
That used
What,
to be
you
a
want me to
thing.
like the Dolphins?
No, you hate Byron Jones because he went to the Dolphins. That's why you
Yeah,
said
because
he
I
was
don't
trash.
like the Dolphins. Not because they
Okay,
have
but you
Tua.
can't
That was
evaluate a player unbiasedly because he's on the Dolphins.
that was before they got Tua also.
I know it's not about the quarterback, but
Alex
just
is
you
attacking
said
my
Byron
character.
Jones is. I still am too. You said Byron Jones is trash because he's on the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's still trash. He sucks.
Let me look up his PFF grade right now.
Oh my
Alright,
God,
watch when
with the
he's
PFF
68.
grades.
Fine,
That's
one
Matt's
second.
whole analysis is he has a 67.3 rating on PFF.
Let me know
If
what it
he's
is.
You
ranked
watch the
high,
guy
it's
play?
valuable. No, I don't watch a lot of Dolphins secondary work.
Missing
Sue
out.
me. But okay. I would imagine
What's his grade? Tell me
whether
right now.
whether or not I can't find it because PFF is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whether or not Byron Jones is playing well for the Dolphins right now, they lost their best player on defense. And they're playing terribly.
All right.
And
it is
also
what it is.
Leighton
Sounds
Van
like
Der
he's
Esch.
not listed on PFF because
Leighton Van Der Esch has been out since the beginning of the year.
Maybe you
And
can't
the-
find Byron Jones because he didn't play for like 3 games.
And
He
Xavier
did miss-
Woods
He's only played 3 games this season.
admitted that they don't try.
Oh, the Cowboys guy.
That was I don't know. I spent so long trying to find that video. It was so fucking funny. He just goes, you might say there's like a lack of effort, but you can't go 100% on every play. And the reporter's just like,
I need to find it.
Okay, should we move on to predictions now?
yeah, we
yes,
should.
because you can't find anything about
I
Byron
said
Jones.
I have to pack, so you guys made sure this was the longest episode of all time.
We did say a lot about the
I
Jets.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, you asked me to play Halo.
I'm going to also play Halo. I'm just gonna end up throwing a bunch of shit into a bag and
Maybe you
That's the way
should
to
pack
do it. You didn't
before.
need to pack.
Maybe you should pack more than 7
Packing-
hours before the trip.
no. See, that's where you're wrong. Packing literally takes 10 minutes. Everybody who goes crazy about I have to pack, I'm leaving
I
in
agree.
3 weeks and I haven't packed yet.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
shut
like,
the fuck up.
So just throw
Okay,
every
you're the
shirt
one
and pair
complaining
of
about
pants
you
you
can't
have
pack
in the
yet.
damn
No,
thing.
no. I do have to do that, but like it is ridiculous what people act like when they have to pack.
I mean, if you
It
want
ta-
to
realistically,
pack
it takes
like
10 minutes. Just take
well, you could-
everything
you
that's in
can
my
pack
drawers
with
and put them in
care.
a bag. Pack with care.
Yeah,
If you wanna bring, like,
I
some
roll
nice
up my
fits.
socks or whatever.
Yeah, I want to bring nice fits. I know exactly where they are. I throw them in the fucking bag.
Bring 4 collared
Sometimes you
got
gotta plan out your outfits.
khakis, and then you're good. You're golfing. What do you need?
Yeah, it doesn't. Even if you're doing that, Alex, it doesn't take more than 30 minutes.
Okay, predictions. Go.
It takes thought,
Depends on.
and
where
nobody
you're going,
likes
but-
doing it. That's probably the main
No, that's
reason.
why. That's
That's
why
why you
I'm
play
leaving
Halo
in 10
instead.
hours and I haven't done it yet. Okay, prediction segment of the show. Recap. Going into week 6 now. I am still leading in first place at 10-5. Surprise, surprise. Alex is in second at 8-7, and then Richard making a little bit of a push at 7-8. We still stand in the same
It is a
exact.
surprise.
We stand in the exact same place we did 2 weeks ago or last week. Stagnant on the punishments. We haven't made any progress in that regard. Alex is shaving his chest. The other 2 are up in the air, but we'll get to that.
I'm shaving my chest. Oh, that'll be easy.
Waxing. Alex is waxing his chest. Shit. Yeah, we'll get to that. But right now, we will start. We have a great slate ahead of us for week 6. The first game of the weekend will be the 4-1 Cleveland Browns going into Pittsburgh to face the undefeated 4-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Who wants to start us
Yeah.
off?
I'm a
I'll,
diehard fan of both teams, so this one's tough for me.
Yeah, Richard for some reason really likes both of these teams. But um, little rematch of last year's slobber knocker. If you guys can remember, Myles Garrett took a helmet to Mason Rudolph's head. So this might be a hostile battle between these two. Pretty impressive team so far. But I am going to I'm gonna pick the Browns in this one. I've been picking against them lately. They keep bitching me because they keep winning. So I'm done doubting them. They seem to be really clicking. Matt was talking earlier about their offensive line. It's very good. Very interesting matchup between the Steelers' great pass rush and the Browns' offensive line, which looks like it's much improved. I think Myles Garrett is going to end up Defensive Player of the Year. He is having a ridiculous season. I know the Browns don't have Chubb, but they still are getting that ground game going with Hunt and Dijon Johnson, whatever the fuck his name is. D. Ernest Johnson, whatever it is.
Henry.
Yeah, so it's D something. But yeah, I think Garrett's going to wreak havoc on the Steelers. I think he's going to cause a lot of problems for Big Ben, and that Steelers offense over there. What was I going to say? Steelers have not really been challenged yet this season, at least not like the Browns have. Their opponents have a combined record of 3-15-1. So yes, they're undefeated, but they really haven't played anyone good. Browns will definitely be their toughest challenge yet. I think it'll be close. I'll take the Browns by a field goal. I am a little bit hesitant to take the Browns because it is Steeler. It's in Pittsburgh and it is a rivalry game, but
It is
no
the Steelers,
no
you're right.
crowd. It's in Pittsburgh, but no crowd. Give me the Browns 23-20.
Wow, score too. You like to see that, Matt?
Yeah, like Alex mentioned, this is the number one offensive line. Cleveland Browns going against the number one defensive line, Pittsburgh Steelers. So that'll be an interesting matchup to watch throughout. It would be great for the Browns to have Nick Chubb in a game like this, and they need that extra punch in the trenches. But Kareem Hunt played really well last week. He looks like he can still be a number one running back. He has that dual threat receiving ability as well. So I think that he'll play a big role in the game. And while the Steelers' defensive line is the best in the league with Bud Dupree, T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward up front, they're really fucking stacked. Their secondary is a little weak. They're 25th in coverage in the league. So if you have time in the pocket, you can throw on them. Obviously, not a lot of teams have been able to have time in the pocket so that they've been able to win these games. They're undefeated. But I expect the battle up front between the lines to kind of go 50-50. I'm sure that the Steelers will win some of those scrums and be able to get to Baker, make him uncomfortable. But also, I do think that the Browns' offensive line will hold up time every now and then. So when it'll be on Baker to be able to exploit that when he does have time in the pocket, and I think that he'll be able to have put together a good game. I was a little skeptical of them going in. Obviously, everyone's going to be skeptical on the Browns until proven otherwise. And I think last week when they beat the Colts pretty convincingly at the end there, that they really showed that they were like a legit team. So I'm ready to buy into them a little bit more now. I think if they beat the Steelers, that'll just be another step in the right direction, and they can really become like one of the top teams in the AFC. So I'm going to take the Browns as well. Not completely sold still on the Steelers' offensive side of the ball. Obviously, their defense is legit, top in the league. But I still want to see more from Big Ben on the offense. So until further notice, I'm going to roll with the Cleveland Browns.
All right. Well, I'm going opposite of Matt and Alex here. I've been a big supporter of the Browns these past few weeks. We didn't do an episode 2 weeks ago, but I was going to pick them against Dallas, and then I picked them last week against the Colts. And I really like the way they're looking so far this season. Like you guys have mentioned, their O-line is significantly improved, and it shows how important an O-line is to a team's success and good play calling. I think Stefanski has implemented a good scheme there. I think the strengths and weaknesses of these teams plays into Pittsburgh's favor. They're one of the top run defenses in the league, Pittsburgh, I believe. And obviously the Browns love to run the ball. Top running offense in the league against one of the best run defenses in the league. We'll see what happens in that matchup, who ends up winning. But I think they're going to want to force Baker to throw the ball and put the game in his hands. And while he's been improved this year, I don't think he's fully shown that you can, have him be the guy the whole game and, throw you to a win. I think they're going to look to take advantage of Wills, who's been all right. He's a rookie, though, and when you have Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt, I'm sure they're going to throw a lot at him and try and, fluster Baker in the pocket, get him on the move. He's not, a great scrambler, small guy. So we'll see how that goes there. And also on the flip side on offense, I know you said you're not sold on Pittsburgh's offense, but I think Big Ben has looked pretty good. I think their passing game has looked good. Claypool had obviously a breakout game last week. Is Deontay Johnson playing? Didn't he get hurt?
He's always hurt, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They still have Juju, and I think the Browns, their defense, their pass defense is towards the bottom of the league, I was reading. So I think that another thing on that side of the ball plays in the Steelers' favor. A pass-happy team and, a good passing team going against, a not great passing defense. And then on the flip side, a great run defense going against a great run offense. But I think maybe they can neutralize them a little bit. And being that they're home, I know there's no crowd, I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think the Browns, they got absolutely annihilated by the Ravens game 1, so that was their first test of the year. But if you look at the points they're giving up to these teams, their defense, 30 to the Bengals, 38 to the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys are a great offense. Dak was going off, this and that. I guess their most promising win would be against the Colts, where they, a defense that a lot of people thought was towards the top of the league and maybe still is. They kind of really took it to them. I forgot what the final score was there. Let me check really quick.
I think it was like 28 to 11.
32-23 was the final score there. And the Colts aren't a great offense in general. Phillip Rivers does not look the same at all.
It's terrible.
Yeah, so I think this besides the Ravens game, is definitely the Browns' biggest test as well. And it goes both ways. Like you said, the Steelers haven't played anyone great, and they've struggled against some bad teams. Like I think they almost let the Eagles come back this week. Right? That was this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. This is division game, huge game for both teams. Obviously, they'll see each other again, but if you can get that, would be 2 division losses already for the Browns in a good and tight division race at the moment. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna switch. I just thought about it for a little bit. Richard was pretty convincing there.
Coward. You're a coward.
I'm not. The game hasn't happened yet. I could be
Stick to
wrong.
your convictions.
No, this is me sticking to my convictions.
It's really the opposite.
I feel it in my gut that the Steelers are going to win, and before you said this, I was thinking Baker on the run just gets those happy feet. He does not look good when he's under pressure. And like a good offensive line against a great defensive line, like it's just harder to block than it is to rush the passer. So I do think they're going to have success against the offensive line. The offensive line is good, but I do think they're going to have success against the Browns' offensive line, no matter how good it is. I don't think you can really just neutralize T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree. So I'm flipping it. I'm going to go 23-20 Steelers.
I like it.
Okay, if you lose this game now, you're gonna really be upset.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough. Okay, so we have two.
I know exactly what Alex is doing. He sees that
What?
8-7, 7-8.
He's fighting for second place.
He's like, let me keep this lead.
No. I would never do that if I didn't actually think the Steelers are going to win. But
No, I'm kidding.
No.
But no, I'm not.
Okay. Next game. All right, so we have two Steelers, one Browns. Kind of surprised, Richard, that you went Steelers here, but okay.
I know. I wanted to pick the Browns, but they suck this week.
Okay. All right, next game. I think this is game of the week. I know there are a lot of good games, but I'm most looking forward to this one. The 4-0 Green Bay Packers going into Tampa Bay to face the 4-1 Tampa Bay Bucks.
Aren't they
3-2?
yeah, they're
3-1. I think they had a bye.
No, they lost.
They're 3-2.
Last week, didn't they? On Thursday Night Football.
They lost to the Bears.
Oh, they lost to the Bears, right? Okay, so the 3-2. 3-2 Tampa Bay Bucks. I'll start. I'm going to take the Packers because Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of the league right now. I know everyone decided to give it to Russell Wilson after 2 weeks of the season, but the game is played over 17 weeks. And
that's usually when he gets
neck and neck.
And that's usually when he gets no first place votes after 17 of them.
Yeah, it's just like it's a 17-week season. This is aside from Rodgers and the pick, but
come on, Rodgers is getting his respect. Let's not act like
that's why I said it's aside from Rodgers or whatever. But now all of a sudden, everybody wants to decide the MVP after every week of the season. Let the season play out. Why do we do
this?
MVP
Why do we do
doesn't
this
matter.
in every sport?
That's what I'm saying. It's annoying. Just let the season happen.
They're just the front runners.
But, dude, they're literally sucking him off like he already won MVP.
He's playing
and
amazing.
Richard thinks it.
I say every year he's going to win MVP.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know.
He's going to stick by it until
He's
he
never
does.
received a first place vote.
It's just like too much for me. Like,
He
let it
usually
happen.
hasn't deserved it, so. Except that 1 year he threw like 34 touchdowns, 6 picks. You want to talk about 2016 a little bit?
The 2020 MVP will be playing in this game, and his name is Aaron Rodgers. The Packers have done everything right through the first 4 games of the season. They did have a bye, so they're only 4-0. But they look like an absolute machine on offense and on defense. Rodgers is playing arguably the best football of his career. They've scored the most points through 4 weeks without having a turnover in league history. They just have not making any mistakes, and it's beautiful football to watch. I mean, Rodgers looks like he's obviously on a mission this season because he's got a lot of disrespect the past couple of years coming from the two of you specifically, and I think he's pissed off about that.
I picked them to go to the Super Bowl last year.
You think he sucks?
Throw me in there?
I listen, he's got a lot of criticism by people saying he's not the same player, and he looks better than he's ever
washed.
looked this year. The one thing that I'm worried about the one thing that I'm worried about is that the Buccaneers allow the fewest rush yards per game in the league, and their secondary is very good.
Jones.
So Aaron Jones owners beware. But honestly, Aaron Jones is great out of the backfield as a receiving back too. So I think that they'll still be able to make use of him.
All right, can we for 1 second? Are the Bucs the best run defense for the past 10 years? Every year
Literally
they're number
every
one
year.
in run defense.
Is that true?
Yes, I'm not kidding.
Well, they had Gerald.
Richard, you need to put some respect on Todd Bowles' name now.
I always said he was a great defensive coordinator.
You called me desperate for picking up the Bucks.
When did I say that?
When you got the notification, you posted it in the fantasy football.
That was
group chat
because
and
I
said
did
was
it to
desperate.
someone else, and then I just the next person to be a notification. I just did it, and it happened to be you.
Interesting.
Idiot.
It's because the one team picked up Mitch Trubisky, and I was like desperate. And then everyone was bitching because he had one good quarter. They were like, he scored 20, and I was like, all right. So then I had to make it seem like I wasn't singling anyone out. So then I had to bitch you.
Interesting. So
Yeah,
maybe
really
the Bucks
bitched me.
defense will get benched this week, like they did with Trubisky.
Oh shit.
You could be in trouble, Alex. Could be 11-0. But yeah, I'm taking the Packers until proven otherwise. They look like the best team in the NFL right now, and I'm going to roll with Aaron.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll with Aaron too, because I love him and I've never said anything bad about him. No, I think they're on both sides of the ball. They just look really good. Their defense looks good. Aaron Rodgers is on his washed king journey. After all the disrespect, he's trying to prove that he's still on top, and he's doing it.
There's
And
a lot of that going around this year.
There's a shame. It's a shame that the Lazard is out, because he was really, he was stellar. He was stellar.
Devontae Adams is back.
Yeah, Adams is back, so they're fine. And the Bucks just are struggling right now. Godwin's been out, but not struggling, but I don't know. They did. You lost to the
They're
Bears.
still figuring it out.
Miss me if you lose to the Bears.
Yeah.
Look, I like the Bucks. I think
So
they're
do
going
I.
to be
Just
fine. I think it's just
tough schedule.
first few weeks of the season. Yeah, I guess, it has been a tough schedule for them. And, first few weeks of the season, no offseason to prepare, new quarterback, new yada, yada, yada. I think they'll be fine, but I'm also going to take the Packers.
Well, the Packers have a new quarterback too, if you didn't know, and a running back. Oh, they don't use them ever though. In their first two draft picks. Forgot about that. I'm sorry. I thought if you take a quarterback and a running back, you probably want to use them, but I guess not.
Yeah. But
Fuck you, Packers.
the
Front
Packers
office.
the Packers are creeping their way up to like Chiefs level, where if we're picking a game, I'm not going to pick against them because they just look so good. So I guess what my next pick is now too. But yeah, I'll take the Packers. But I do think the Bucks are a good squad.
It was a disappointing game against the Bears, definitely. I will say the Bears defense, though, they played like old Bears defense of a couple years ago that we're used to. They played really fucking well.
It was like it's their fifth game with like this whole new look team. It might have been a little bit of a like trap game, I guess, if they were looking ahead to the Packers. I don't know.
Think Brady's looking ahead?
He might not be, but
Scotty
you
Miller.
got to get the whole team on the same page.
Brady was looking ahead to
now.
fifth down.
Yeah. I think he was like,
yeah, it's funny.
Did you see
Okay.
he posted that
The
picture of
Lakers win.
LeBron?
All right. We're all on the Packers here. 3 Packers, 0 Bucks. Let's move on before we get sidetracked with any nonsense. Next game on
what's
the next
funny?
game.
Because we're wasting so much time talking about the Packers, and you have to pack.
Hey,
Look at that.
I basically am Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Wow. It's the not Matt right nowers versus the Bucks.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Takes 10 minutes.
How do we recover from that?
We don't.
Okay, next game. The Kansas City Chiefs coming off their first loss since last November. The 4-1 Chiefs against the also coming off a pretty ugly loss, 4-1 Buffalo Bills. Richard, it's your
they
turn.
looked
All right.
bad.
Well, I'm going to give the Chiefs a pass, because when you're going against such an elite offensive player and team like Derek Carr and the Raiders, you get that. You get one of those, You get a pass. It happens when the car
We're gonna
comes
make
to
jokes.
when the car comes to town, he's going to have his way. The Chiefs.
You're an embarrassment.
Whatever. Trap game, bad loss. I trust them way more than the Bills to bounce back. The Bills got absolutely demolished. I mean, the Chiefs could have been in that game, could have won that game. The Bills, they weren't even on the field in that game. And I think either way, if both of these teams won the past few weeks, I'd still The past week. I still would take the Chiefs. The Bills defense doesn't really look that great right now, and that was the best aspect of their team for the past couple of years, but they're just not playing, up to the standard that they've set. And I don't know if Tre'Davious White is going to play. I know he was out, so we'll see if he's there. If he's not in, I think Mahomes is going to have a field day, and he has his new toy, Mr. Le'Veon Bell.
He's not playing this week.
Well, his spirit will drive them forward.
He's ineligible to play because of COVID protocols. I actually read that today. So the Chiefs don't have Bell this week.
Okay, so when Ravion Lell walks on the field and everyone's like, who's this guy? Because they're going to sneak him on. No, the Chiefs are significantly better than the Bills. Patrick Mahomes will not lose another game this season. They're going to go 15-1 and win the Super Bowl.
Wow. Stamp that on the memo. You heard it here first.
Yep. No.
All right, you're taking the Chiefs?
I think that look, respect to the Bills. Allen's playing great. They struggled last week. I'm not going to be like, look, I told you the Bills, but I just think the Chiefs are significant. This is the best team they've played by far. Titans were the first real competition. I guess the Rams and the Jets.
Bills they played. They beat
Jets, Dolphins.
Beat the Rams.
Oh, Jets, Dolphins, Rams,
and then one more.
I don't know. Okay, so you have the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Bills here. Wow. I would argue you're talking about, the Chiefs were in that game and the Bills got crushed. I would argue that losing at home to the Raiders is a lot worse than losing on the road to undefeated Titans team who was in the AFC Championship last year without your best defensive player.
Good squad.
They're very good. The Bills were shorthanded.
They beat the Raiders. The Bills. That's it.
No. Oh, the Bills beat the Raiders?
Yeah, that's their
interesting. Oh, Chiefs didn't, so that's
30
weird.
30-23 though.
What does that mean?
Couldn't hold Carr back. Really.
They beat the Raiders.
3-11, 2 TDs.
Listen, I think the Bills, they got caught off guard with the calendar. They're playing Tuesday night football. Josh Allen is a creature of habit. He's not used to playing on Tuesdays.
The Titans were playing Sunday night football.
Listen, things get weird on Tuesdays. There's never been a game on Tuesday before. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
They play.
Yeah, they lost to the Titans after the Titans had one practice in the previous 10 days.
Listen, practice overrated? I don't know. Allen Iverson might have been onto something. You tell me. But I'm going to take the Bills here. I think that this is a perfect storm for everyone to kind of over-exaggerate the Chiefs' struggles. They lose 2 in a row. People start panicking. Oh, what's wrong with the Chiefs? Nothing's wrong with the Chiefs. They just got Josh Allen because it's a revenge game. He's coming off a loss. You don't want to see him angry coming off a loss. Yeah. I think he's going to ball out on the Chiefs.
They got Eiffel Towered by Carr and Allen.
Exactly. Yep, that's Pat Mahomes' worst nightmare is about to come true. No, I don't know. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both offenses can obviously score, and neither defense is particularly great. If Derek Carr can do it against the Chiefs, I don't see why Josh Allen can't. I expect it to be a shootout, and I'm just going to pick the Bills because why not? I think it's going to be a fun game.
This kid's playing around with his record now.
Yeah.
All right, Alex.
Make a good upset.
I am not going to take
the
Bills.
Game. You're sitting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna withdraw from picking this one. I like the Bills pick. I'm not gonna pick them, but the Chiefs have looked pretty human over the last few weeks. They beat the Pats by like 16 points. But the Pats did they not have Cam for that game, or did I make that up?
They did not have Cam.
Right. So they didn't have Cam. But they won pretty decisively, but it's not like they blew the doors off the Patriots. Then they played the Chargers, which was a really, really close game. that Herbert played amazing in. That was Herbert's first game. So you expect a rookie quarterback making his debut and not finding out until the kickoff of that game. You expect the Chiefs, reigning Super Bowl champs, blow the doors off them. Not what happened. That game was close until the end. And then last week they turn around and lose to the Raiders. So I got my eyes on the Chiefs. I'm still not comfortable picking against them, especially picking the Bills, who are coming off a pretty bad loss themselves. So I'll take the Chiefs, but I do think it's going to be a close game. Monday at 5:00. This one.
That's interesting. I bet the Bills,
Ooh,
they're not
body
used to
clock.
playing at 5,
That might be a problem. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is a big Sunday guy.
Yep.
All right, keep my eyes on that one.
They're actually going to have the Chiefs play on Sunday, and then they're going to have the holograms on the field for the Bills.
Right.
So that the Chiefs get their
They're actually
going to
play 2 games. And then whatever like the added up score of both games that's going to be who wins.
Listen, you'll see what happens. Monday is a lot better of a schedule than Tuesday. So Josh Allen he'll come correct. But I am a man of conviction, so I'm not going to switch my pick, despite perhaps a couple convincing arguments that were made. Can't say the same for Alex, but listen, that's neither here nor there. We'll move on to the last game of the week. This is the Sunday night game. The Los Angeles Rams, 4-1, going into San Francisco to face the 2-3 Jimmy Garoppolo's
They're
boss 49ers.
They are 2-3. I'll start this one off. I'm gonna take the Niners. I know they they have not gotten off to a good start at all, but they've been horrifically banged up. And they're starting to get their guys back.
Yeah,
this is a big game for them.
Week, right?
What? I didn't say Bosa's back.
It's fun.
Debo's back now. Kittle's back. Garoppolo's back. And they need a few weeks to get their legs underneath them. So I'll forgive it. I'll forgive the blowout to the Dolphins last week. This is a huge game for the 49ers, honestly. The Rams are 4-1. The Seahawks are they haven't lost yet. So
they're not playing the Seahawks.
They're in the same division as the Seahawks.
No, they're not in the same division either.
It's a triple threat this week.
They switched it. Look at that king.
COVID is apparently with COVID you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you can just change all the rules, and nothing matters anymore.
They're just winging
triple
everything.
threat match between the Rams, Niners, and Seahawks. No, but this is a huge game for them, and I think the Niners know that. It's in San Francisco, so they have the home field advantage. I'll take the Niners. If they lose this game, their season is kind of fucked. With the Rams being 5-1, and I'm sure I think the Seahawks are on a bye this week.
Yes, they are.
So they would be pretty far behind if they lose this week. So it's a must-win for them, in my opinion. I think the Niners they get their guys back. They come out and they pull off the win against the Rams.
Yeah, you're right. It is pretty much like a must-win game. It feels like for the Niners, with given the division, and also the Cardinals are at 3-2. They play the Cowboys this week, so I don't know what would happen there, but probably if the Cardinals do win, go to 4-2, and if the Niners lose this game, they're really behind it in their own division. So that's going to be a little tough for them. But after what they pulled last week against the Dolphins at home, to be just absolutely blown out like that, it really was never a game. I think it was like 17-0 from the start, and then it was just garbage time from then on out. Jimmy Garoppolo got benched. I guess he wasn't fully healthy. That's what they're going with, whether you believe that or not, or if he'd really just – the guy was like 7 for 17 with 2 interceptions in the first half. So they made a switch. So they switched over to C.J. Beathard. As a Nick Mullins podcast that we are, I think we have to take our L on that one, being that he's now third-string quarterback. I got off that train, the Nick Mullins train, after I saw that interception that he threw.
Oh, my, that was the worst thing ever.
Yeah. He literally flipped it to the linebacker for a pick six. So that's tough. That was the week before. It was against the Eagles when the Eagles got their first win.
Yeah, that's what it was.
On Sunday night. But yeah, so they have a big quarterback problem. The three of those guys, maybe if you combine all three of them, you would have one good quarterback. But something's not right with Jimmy G. I personally have never been fully bought into Garoppolo as a starting quarterback. Well, he's a starting quarterback, but as somebody who can really be that great, I think he got way overhyped by people, including Richard, after that 6-0 start with the Niners when he was traded.
And then he went to the Super Bowl the next year. It was great.
Yeah, so that's it's weird. He's holding on to that, and I don't know. Rex Grossman went to a Super Bowl too. Let's not forget that.
And he was filthy.
Yeah.
In Madden.
I don't know. Something's not right with Jimmy G. Whether it's injury or if he isn't that good, whatever the reason is, something's not right. He's not playing great football. And I think that the Rams are a very good team. I've been high on them all year. I think I've picked them every week that we've had them on the slate. And they look like a good team. They beat Washington last week, who's no slouch. We know that.
I knew it was going to be not a good team.
Yeah, listen, if you beat Washington, you're okay in my book. Give me the Rams, though. I'm really sour on the Niners. I know obviously injuries are a factor, but they still do have a lot of injuries, so that has to be accounted for. So I'm just going to take the Rams. I think the Niners are going to throw this year out.
Yeah, I'm going. This is the only game that me and Alex pick different, so this will be. We'll
Nice.
see what happens in the standings here, but yeah, they just don't look good. A little bit of a Super Bowl hangover, maybe, and obviously all the injuries. If Garoppolo's not 100%, they're going to struggle, especially you got Aaron Donald out there, and I know Debo's coming back, but he's going to go up against Jalen Ramsey, so we'll see how he can do. He was already back, though, last week, right? They kind of eased him in. But
Debo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the Rams look much better than the 49ers right now, and I think they're just the better team talent-wise with the 49ers injuries. And, yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much hit all the beats there. They got to figure it out, the 49ers. Someone's got to start playing consistent. You're not playing the Jets. You can't go 14 for 15 in the first half anymore, Jimmy. You're going to make some tough throws. But, yeah, I'm taking the Rams in that one.
Okay. So we have 2 Rams, 1 Niners. Yeah, definitely a lot of moves can be made this week. We all agreed on the Packers, but other than that, we're pretty split with in different directions. So this is a big week. We're gonna have a lot invested in these games, which is good for me and Alex. I know Richard's gonna be upset that he has to watch them, but Alex and I will be into it.
Pissed. I mean, who wants a good game? Not me. I just think it's absolutely hilarious that, we wanted this to be a quick podcast, and it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes.
It's the longest one we've had in so long.
So long. Oh, man.
That's just what we do here at the Memo.
That's how we do it. Well, if you made it to this point, you should probably go to the doctor. But thanks. Thanks for making it here. But we'll see you next time on the Memo. We're signing off.
Yep. Thanks for stopping by.